Welcome to the Breaking Burnout for Nurses podcast. Today we're going to have Cinda Roffman back on my show again. She was on a few episodes ago. And so now I'm having her back because she talked about hypnotherapy at that time. And she did mention about using affirmations to help her clients. So she had to slip that in. And so I said, okay, you have to come back and talk more about affirmations. So for the people who did miss that episode, please tell us a little bit about yourself first before we get started.
Okay, I've been a hypnotherapist for about 15 years, and it's the most rewarding career I've ever had. I was a legal secretary and an office manager and a mom. And now I kind of think that hypnotherapy is a way of bringing all of my experience in my life, which is getting longer and longer, together.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing, right? Together to help other people. And, having been through a lot of different things, I think can really help other people because they can understand that they're not going through this alone, whatever it is they're going.
All right. Thank you. Well, during that episode about hypnotherapy, you specifically brought up one of the tools that you do use to help your clients is called affirmations. So tell us exactly what is an affirmation. I mean, to me, affirmation means to say yes. You're affirming something. So, but in this particular case, you're using affirmations as a tool to help your clients. So explain that to us, please.
Well, it's very similar. We're using affirmations to affirm what it is we want to be or what it is we want to have in your life. Because this is the absolute key to hypnotherapy. What you think about is what comes to be. So in our last session, we talked about coming into the hospital and thinking, oh, this is going to be a really tough day. It will probably be a tough day. If you come into work and say, oh, I'm a great nurse, I can handle whatever they throw at me. Let's see what challenges I'll have today. You're going to have a much better day. So to help people change from looking at the negative things to looking at the positive things, we come up with affirmations so that when people are thinking about what they want in their life, when they're just thinking random thoughts, they can instead think, oh, I want to be a good nurse. I want to be able to handle a crisis. I want to be calm and relaxed. I want to be able to leave work at work and come home and relax. So those are all affirmations that would be great for nurses. But they can also
go ahead.
Are you
go ahead?
You have a question?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So they can be even more specific. Like I have one client that I'm working with right now who wants to buy a new house. So her affirmation is, my offer for the property at blah, blah, blah is accepted and I enjoy living in my new home. Okay. That may sound kind of silly. Well, why would you have an affirmation for that? Because you're putting it out into the universe. You're giving the universe a chance to manifest that for you. And in fact, she did have a house. She wanted to move to a different house already. And she manifested house number 2. And now she's getting ready to manifest house number 3. So it does work. Now, don't ask me how, even though I'm a hypnotherapist, I don't know how it works. I think it's about giving the universe a space to have good things happen in your life. If you're always going negative, 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 you're never open for something good to happen. But if you take a minute and actually say what good things you'd like to have in your life, then they can happen. Will they always happen? No. I can't affirm myself to be an NBA basketball player. That will never happen. But can I affirm myself to have a good trip next week when I go to visit my daughter? Yes. Can I affirm that I will be calm and relaxed on the road while my husband's driving? Yes. That kind of thing. So, it doesn't have to be a huge, big thing. They're just small things all throughout the day that make your life better. That can be really significant. I mean, it's okay to have an affirmation about big things too. I mean, that's great, but it works for big things or little things.
But it has to be realistic, right? I mean, you
It
can't
has to
say,
be
or not, you
realistic.
can't, but yeah. So you kind of help them create an attainable affirmation,
Right.
kind of like a goal. Yeah,
Yes.
right. Kind of like a
Very
goal, but
similar to
it
a
has to
goal.
be realistic and it could be a reach though, like a goal
It
or
can be a
something.
reach. Sure.
Hmm.
Sure. So what I do with
Like,
my clients is when they come into me, they say, "Oh, I'm really sad. I was abused as a child, so I don't trust anyone. I don't feel safe." Okay?
mhm.
So what are three affirmations one might come up with from those three statements? I'm happy, I trust people, and I feel safe. So just making that change in her mind can help her to feel better. Do you see how it's a little different?
Okay.
Instead of
Yeah,
being concerned all the time about the
mhm,
bad things, she
mhm.
can now focus on the good things.
Say more the positive side of something, taking a negative thought and thinking of the positive side of something.
And so far, most negative thoughts can be just switched to be positive. And if you find yourself going down the negative road a lot, I would suggest that you just put on the brakes and say, "Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to switch some of those negative thoughts to positive thoughts." And I think you'll find that your life will be a lot better.
We can make an affirmation about doing that, about switching to the positive
That would be a great affirmation,
affirmation.
sure. Yeah.
Okay, so how many times should a person do the affirmation? Like every hour, every day? I guess it
Okay, well,
depends on how
that's a
severe the problem
well, no,
is.
that's a really good question. So, to begin with, I ask my clients to read their affirmations in the morning. We'll come up with a set of affirmations, and I'll give them a copy of my book, The New Power in Affirmations,
Oh,
which
beautiful.
has a place for them to write their affirmations
Oh,
and
okay.
a place for them to write what they're grateful for.
Okay, perfect.
So they write their affirmations, in a list, and then I ask them to read their affirmations first thing in the morning. So
Mhm.
that's a way of kind of, setting the stage. Today I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And they're all
Mhm.
positive. Then throughout the day, let's say one of their affirmations was, I'm a competent nurse and I know how to handle every situation. So if they walk into a patient's room and something's happening that they're not familiar with, they remind themselves, I'm a competent nurse and I know how to handle every situation. Now, handling the situation may mean calling for backup.
Mhm.
That's okay. That's
Yeah,
handling the situation instead
absolutely.
of, oh, I'm so scared. I've never done those things before. Oh, what's going to happen? Oh, my, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So most of the time, it can be very helpful to be in a more positive frame of mind.
I like that.
You like that? Okay.
I do. I
Then,
like the positive. Mhm. Mhm.
so as they come upon situations where an affirmation that they have is relevant, they can remind themselves of the affirmation. Or, like you said, if they're telling themselves something negative, they
Mhm.
can just switch it to something positive and make
Mm.
up an affirmation on the spot. And then I ask my clients to read and write their affirmations in longhand at night before they go to bed,
Mhm.
because writing uses a different part of the brain than reading. And we
Oh,
want all parts of our brain on the same page, right?
so you don't text. You write it out with your handwriting?
With longhand, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
So that, that part of your brain is getting activated as well. And then I will give the client a copy of the recording, and that has the affirmations in it also.
Okay,
So they'll
you
be
have
getting,
three different ways. You have
right, three
in the
different ways of
morning.
getting those affirmations.
I love it. Yeah. So it's coming from three different directions, and
Mhm.
you're soaking it in three different ways. So
And
yeah.
for extra credit, I tell my clients they can say them out loud into the mirror.
Okay.
That's
I love it.
one more good way of doing it, because then they see themselves actually embracing the affirmation.
I think I've heard of people writing down, I guess it's affirmations, their positive thoughts for the day, like at the end of the day when they're journaling or something, they can write their affirmation to reaffirm their positive thoughts. Oh, I like that. I like
Right.
the thought of writing it out.
hmm Well, I remember I have them write their affirmations, then also write what they're grateful for so that they
Okay.
can take a look back on that day and see what actually went well. So when the nurse was faced with that challenge, how did she handle it?
hmm
She did fine. She can remind herself, I handled that situation in room 203 just fine.
hmm
So,
Perfect.
and those are different each day depending upon what you want to focus on. And it doesn't have to be anything really difficult. It can be there was no traffic on the way home from work. The sky was a beautiful blue.
Oh, yes. The sky was not smoky.
That's a good thing.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I'm all gonna think of all these positive thoughts to keep on my mind and write down, so I can have a nice positive day.
Good.
So thank you everybody for listening to this episode with Cinda Roffman. Her information is going to be on my website, www.breakingburnout.com. So we'll have a paragraph about her and her cute picture, and we'll have her social media links and information for you to get a hold of her for hypnotherapy and positive affirmations. So thank you so much, Cinda, for being on my
Thank
show
you,
again.
Bonnie, for
We'll
having
have
me.
you back again, right? You're going to be my
Okay.
resident hypnotherapist. All right. Thank you,
Happily.
everybody. We'll see you next Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Have a good week.